This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
When you realize the coronavirus is not the real threat, it's the people. This is Welcome Up here. Brand new topic, brand new video. All commenters are welcome to comment down below. Support a brother, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what your thoughts are. All is welcome, and God bless. You know, the thing that I've noticed that I should be more worried about than the coronavirus is humankind. A lot of violence has been in the air. Darkness is in the air. Corruption is all around us. Whether we want to believe it or not, or think it's a hoax or it's all fake. When all these things are happening on behalf of a man's death that died in the hands of a cop, this reminds me of how Detroit was during the 1950s era. Back then, how a lot of African Americans, or black people in particular, because I'm a black male myself, where they suffered a great deal in harm, punishment. There's a lot of police officers that just became cops just to express their hatred for minorities and people who are a darker skin toned. And that is an issue, because we all bleed the same. We're all going to die the same. Everyone has a right, because there's people that would feel the same way about people who are white. People who does not like white people could feel the exact same way. And this made me realize and to wake up. We have the rights to bear arms. We all do. To protect ourselves, for protection. A right to hold a weapon, a right to conceal a weapon, and all means of that is necessary in order to be protected, to survive, just to get by. So we don't really have to always depend on a cop or police officer gambling if whether the cop or not is going to save us, especially being black. And this is in America too, okay? I'm from New York. I live in New York, and I'm in upstate. I was going to visit the city recently, but chances of that happening was slim to none. These riots, looters, there a lot of them that does not really care about the brother that died by the name of George Floyd, who was murdered by the hands of a police officer. Many of these shoplifting looters, these thieves, these rioters, these fake protesters, most of them are just serving for their own selfish gain on what they could get out of it. There are some people that thinks it's fun. There are some people that are taking this seriously. And there's the ones who would rather die in the hands of another officer to prove something for the greater cause, for the greater good. There's people that would rather sacrifice themselves in honor of George Floyd. But from this image here, this is an example of what humans can do. Not the coronavirus, but humankind. What man can do. Stuff like this. A lot of people are tired of complaining, tired of moaning, tired of crying. And the law enforcement officers, a lot of the cases seems to not care. All citizens are worth to be treated as all respected citizens, because you could be the same officer that would threaten someone, right? You're thinking you're doing your job. And once you go bye-bye, you're no longer an officer or you're off duty. You have no rights to really do much. So if someone does that back to you, they have every right to arrest you under the court of law. It's funny how people want to use that as some power trip to feel like they're on top of you, especially being a police officer. But when it happens to them, they're blown out of proportion. They're all hurt. They're asking themselves, how come this happened to me? But you have to remind yourself, the same way you treat others, you wouldn't want anyone else to treat you. So you can't get angry when someone treats you the exact same way. That's a reflection based off how you treated yourself and how you're treating others. This is how you also feel about yourself. That superiority, that white supremacy complex, that mindset is very uncomfortable to discuss about amongst people who are white in America. In a lot of the cases, they do feel uncomfortable for the fact that they feel that they have no place into saying anything because they feel that they're going to be judged as a racist. It's uncomfortable, is it? This is how America is now for you. This is what you're seeing on TV. It all goes down to respect. Said in my last videos. Respect goes a long way. All you got to do is respect somebody, respect their choices, respect their rights to live, get by, and leave them alone. If they're doing something wrong, they're doing something wrong. Okay? No questions asked. Race does not matter on what you do. Nobody gets a pass when they're committing the exact same crime. Nobody shouldn't get a pass. But I've noticed there's a pattern with how the laws rather protect people who's under the law or work with the laws themselves than to protect another citizen legacy that's no longer with us. George Floyd was one of those citizens. He couldn't breathe. He was being choked to death. Choked to death, okay? And I feel like the cop had no remorse because he felt like he was under the law. He felt entitled as well for being who he was. And I bet also due to his race, he thought he was going to get away with it. And look what's going on now. He probably deeply regrets it now, being this hated. He's one of the most hated people in history. A lot of white people wants to also not want to be called a racist because I already know not all of them are like that. I had a few white friends and acquaintances and people that I've spoken to in the past. They never treated me a certain way where I felt off, where I felt uncomfortable. I had my encounters with racist remarks. They never said the N word, but their actions spoke a lot differently. How they treated others instead of treating me. I even have a story about a coworker of mine from the job that I was let go of because of the COVID. I never even knew her at all. All I asked her was a question about the coffee maker at work. She simply gave me a nasty look, and moments later, I realized, oh, she has a very insecure mindset that she feels that she's too good to be around me, and a lot of the white people at the job were a lot better. She didn't hang with with nothing but people who are white. All her friends was white. All the coworkers she kissed under. It looked like she was very desperate. It's like a poodle begging for their owner's approval. It's actually sad when another minority of races they beg for an acceptance from another race group. They're not going to accept you. All they got to do is respect you, and that's it. You don't got to kiss anybody's behind to feel that you belong there. And then you put someone else down of your own race or people who you feel doesn't fit your narrative of what you like. I said to myself, may God bless her. And I'm glad she showed me who she is, because she has a lot to work on herself, and that's not my problem. If you feel that you feel uncomfortable being around black people, then that's your problem and you have issues. Because if you know that you have that issue, keep it to yourself and work on yourself. Racism is taught. It's not just out of nowhere. The media is not even making it any better. They keep promoting stuff like this. And that goes to tell you, this is what they're making money off of. Chaos. And they love it. And people are actually enjoying this. The destruction. Beating up cops, killing cops. F the police. It's not the cops that people should also be worried about. Even though we should. It's how corrupted the system is to not follow the guidelines of protecting the citizens as their job, instead of racially profiling, instead of being biased. Other countries is not making this any better either. And that's a different topic to talk about. That goes to show you, man itself, the laws, would rather get a pass first before a civilian or a citizen that's now dead in the grave. I guarantee if George Floyd's death was not recorded on camera, this would have been completely different. The news report is so stupid too, from the autopsy, how it was said they believed that he had a heart attack, all these freaking stupid excuses. But what caused the heart attack? What caused him to not be breathing? Are people this stupid? The media really thinks that people are this dumb to not see with our own two eyes. The video was recorded. The man is dead. He was killed like an animal. And the cops that were also fired defended his actions. And they're getting away with it, right? This is something that actually upsets me. Looters is not making this any better. They're actually making it worse. Because you have idiots that are coming from different states that has nothing to do with the protest. They're taking advantage of it and not caring about George Floyd. A lot of them don't care. By the time 2021 comes around the corner, this is just going to be another news. And by all means, I said in many of my videos, things is going to get worse during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I was right. Violence is increasing. Burglaries, crime rates is increasing. People are using the COVID-19 as a label and excuse to get away with murder, get away with being a thief. People are so sick and twisted that they forgot about the whole COVID-19 completely when they were robbing stores. And this is what you call protesting? This is what you call something that you would honor for someone else's life? Nope. People just choose to do those type of stuff because they chose to do it. And because of all the social distancing and because there's no security around and so many people are inside, a lot of thieves were going to take advantage of this. I said in my last video with my future predictions on the coronavirus and where it could take us. And why I'm not surprised. This is what happens. This is what happens. A lot of these looters and riots saw the green light. They used this opportunity of the war and hate crime on police because of the death of another man, and they're taking advantage of it. Probably still going on today. It's probably still going on today. No words can describe how hurt I am to actually see this. It's like we're really living through the end times, but we're just not there. We just don't know when we'll be there. And 2021, who knows how that's going to be like? Are they going to tell us to social distance or cancel the ball drop next? Because if they do cancel that, they might as well. Because this is how the laws are set in place. Okay? Some people may agree or disagree with me that the whole coronavirus or the virus itself is fake, but then people are really actually going to the hospitals and dying. So what do you call that? There's a lot of things that, of course, I know that the government is not going to tell us. And yet again, Trump is also stating how military will be in place so this could all stop on behalf of another man's death. We should fear man themselves because man is physically capable of causing destruction and wrecking and chaos from the picture that is seen right here. Nobody's not really going to school like that. Everyone's at home. This quarantine feels like everyone is on probation from their own will, and there's nothing many people could do about it but riot and scream out, express themselves, even if it means to turning violent to get a word out. And of course, the officer did play himself. That's his fault. He had it coming. That entitlement, race crap, the race card, it doesn't go anywhere very long term. We're about to be in 2021. That is getting old after a while. Everybody wants a change. People want to change. Who wants to lie to themselves and say that they don't like peace? I love being peaceful. I love going out, traveling, being to myself, spending some time with my family. All these things may sound good, but if we're not hoping for a greater tomorrow, then what else is left to be hopeful for? If we don't know we're going to make it to see that or not, or make it to even see 2030, who knows how that year is going to be like? Who knows? This war is very scary. I recommend people be armed to protect themselves because the COVID-19 could destroy you or infect you internally, but physically, a man or a human being, and including a woman as well, people in general could be the same ones that could backstab you, turn against you, rob you, steal from you, or even take away your life. Just like the officer who took away George's life. The officer was the threat. George was the victim. When cops go wrong, people views the whole police system because of the history behind all the stupidity that the cops brought in. It leaves them to believe that they're hiring a lot of racist idiots and people who does not care until it's too late. Because you make them feel somehow, some way, when they're a police officer and they got some badge, they are protected under the law no matter what they do. Like the police officer who was raping a lot of African American women to his advantage because he knew that no one was not going to do anything. The same way with the cops that harassed, killed, and murdered minorities, especially black people in America. I was stopped by a cop many times before. And as a black male, many other people of different races, they'll understand, but they won't actually understand what I went through myself. I'm seeing it to believe it. This is real life. George's death was not a hoax either. Okay? And I already know some conspiracy theories is not going to be that stupid to think that because the man is actually dead. It was on camera. It happened. I don't know what else to say. But people gotta prepare for the worst. Because the worst will be the one that'll take you down instead if you're not prepared. No one else is not going to help you but yourself. People gotta wake up. This is Welcome Red Play here. Peace out. God bless. And guys, stay safe and understand for the fact that the coronavirus is also a threat. But the biggest threat that we should fear the most is man. The bombs, the machines, the weapons, everything. And this picture shows an example of the end result of what can happen after destruction is taking place by man, by people, by women, people with a chaotic mindset that think this is okay, this is normal, or to express to themselves on deeply how they feel about the world and the police system being corrupted itself. Peace and God bless. Let me know what you think.